Dear students, in this presentation we will learn about the application of computer in the bioinformatics. As you might be surprised to see a blank slide at the beginning of this presentation. I have kept this blank slide deliberately. From this blank slide, we will know that the blank slide here, it shows bioinformatics without a computer. As you can see that there is nothing on this slide. Similarly, we cannot imagine of bioinformatics without a computer. So to think of bioinformatics, first we have to think about computer, which means that the computer is the backbone or the computer connectivity or the availability. It's the backbone for the bioinformatics. Now let's learn what the bioinformatics is. As you can see, bioinformatics, it's the field of we can say it's a field that's a combination of computer sciences and biology. It's a union of computer science and biology. There is a, and as you can see, this is the zone between where biology and computer science, they merge into each other. And the merging zone, the area or the union of biology and computer science, it's known as bioinformatics. Now, why is this bioinformatics exciting? First of all, nowadays we know that the bioinformatics, its popularity and its applications are growing day by day, and the most popular or the most advanced application of bioinformatics is in drug designing or other medical applications. There are various diseases or genetic defects where bioinformatics plays a very vital role for their diagnosis. Then we know that in case of bioinformatics, we have a huge amount of data available with us, and using that data which is available with us, we can anytime know we can anytime get any information regarding anything that we need. Then what are the challenges in bioinformatics? The first one is that since this bioinformatics, it is not from, or it does not pertain to a single discipline. So a person who wants to study bioinformatics, or a person who wants to be an expert in bioinformatics, he or she needs to have an interdisciplinary approach, which means that for bioinformatics, you need to have interdisciplinary collaboration. We need a culture of asking questions. Then let's see what are the disciplines which are involved in bioinformatics. As there are a number of disciplines which are working or which are collaborating with each other in bioinformatics. There is numerics, statistics, discrete algorithms, algorithm engineering, parallel computing, supercomputing, software engineering. Now, in case of bioinformatics, this bioinformatics, it is actually connecting different fields together. Animal science, we can see that the animal science and pathology, it connects it with computer science, biostatistics, mathematics, pharmacology, laboratory medicine, biochemistry, molecular biology, means various branches of mathematical science, statistics, and computer sciences, and biology, they are or biochemistry, they are linked together, and the linking medium is the bioinformatics. Now, what the bioinformatics actually is, to define it, it's the application of computational tools on molecular data, including the means to acquire, analyze, or visualize such data. Which means that by using the computational tools, we work on the molecular data. The molecular data, it can be the data about our genes, it can be a data about the proteins, it can be data about any other molecular entity. Uh, as you can see from the Google search with the keyword bioinformatics, it has been found that in 2008, while searching for bioinformatics, we got 1.480 results. Then we in 2016, the results were 24.900. It's in lakhs. Then in 2018, the results were 3.400, and in 2020, the results were 40.900. There are certain synonyms which are used sometimes instead of using bioinformatics, that is computational biology, computational molecular biology, and some people also use biocomputing. Here we can see that by using a computer, the it is the which usually is an ideal bioinformatics tool. Here we can see that any information which we need, it is it is a matter of just one click. You click on a button and you will get all the information, all the related information that you need. According to National Institutes of Health definition, this bioinformatics, it is research, development, or application of computational tools and approaches for expanding the use of biological, medical, behavioral, or health data, including those to acquire, store, organize, analyze, or visualize such data. The related disciplines of computational biology is the development and application of data analytical and theoretical methods, mathematical modeling, and computational simulation techniques to the study of biological, behavioral, and social systems. This field of science, which is known as bioinformatics, it's actually the merging of biology, computer science, and information technology. Means the biologists, they collect molecular data. The molecular data, it can be from DNA or protein, it can be a protein sequence, it can be gene expression data, or any other type of molecular data. While the computer scientists, which include mathematicians, statisticians, etc., they develop tools, softwares, algorithms to store and analyze the data. And together, these biologists and computer scientists, they together are known as bioinformaticians. They together, what do? They study biological questions by analyzing molecular data. Now here we can see that if we talk about molecular biology, the DNA, the information, the flow of information is from DNA to RNA, from RNA to protein, and from protein to cellular phenotype. While talking in terms of bioinformatics, it can be from genome to transcriptome, from transcriptome to proteome, and from proteome to cellular phenotype. There is another perspective or another view about bioinformatics, is that we have a view from the level of the cell to the organism. We usually consider the individual as genome, including the genes that are expressed as RNA transcripts and the protein products. For an individual organism, bioinformatics tool can therefore be applied to describe change through developmental time, change across body regions, and change in a variety of physiological or pathological states. It means that bioinformatics, it can be applied to a person or to an individual in a wide area of ways. Another perspective about this bioinformatics is like a tree of life, in which the bioinformatics, it finds its scope at different levels. For example, including bacteria, archaea, and eukaryotes. In case of viruses, which exist on the borderline of the definition of life, they are not depicted here. For all the species, the collection or the analysis of the molecular sequence data, it allows us to describe the complete collection of DNA that comprises each organism. By using bioinformatics, we are able to learn the variations that occur between species and among members of a species, and we can deduce the evolutionary history of life on Earth. The algorithms, in turn, depend on the theoretical foundations such as discrete mathematics, control theory, system theory, information theory, statistics. It has been found that the bioinformatics or any kind of bioinformatics study, it derives its knowledge from computer analysis of biological data. These can consist of the information, which means that the information which is stored in the genetic code, the information, it can be from an experiment or the results that we get from any kind of experiment. The data, it can be patient statistics, or it can be any other scientific literature. Research in bioinformatics, it may include method development for storage, retrieval, analysis of the data. It means that the first part of the information, it is collected from biologists, and the another part, or the second part, it is derived, or it is collected from the statisticians or mathematicians or the software developers. This bioinformatics, it's a rapidly developing branch of biology, and as we have already learned that this is highly interdisciplinary. It uses techniques and concepts from informatics, statistics, mathematics, chemistry, biochemistry, physics, linguistics. The Here we can see that the relationship between computer science and biology is a natural one for several reasons. There are several reasons from which we can infer that there is a natural reason for a relation between computer science and biology. Number one is the phenomenal rate of biological data being produced provides challenge. Means that biological data that is being generates, it produces a challenge, which means that massive amounts of data have to be stored. We need a storage for the amount that is being generated. Then we need to analyze the stored data, and the analysis of the data, after we have done the analysis of the data, it is to be made accessible. The second one is the nature of the data is often such that a statistical method and hence computation is necessary. It means that we need to analyze or we need to apply the statistical tools for the analysis of the data that we have from our experiments or from our studies. Hence, in that case, we need computation. The third one is that there exists a strong analogy between the DNA sequence and a computer program. The applications of bioinformatics are that the bioinformatics, it finds its application in medicine, in pharmaceutical drug design, in toxicology, molecular evolution, biosensors, biomaterials, biological computing, models, computing. So, to be a bioinformatician, what skills do we need? First of all, we should be well grounded in one of the following areas. Number one, if we want to have our expertise in bioinformatics, we must have the knowledge of computer science. We must, and at the same time, we should be knowing about molecular biology, statistics. Then we should have working knowledge and appreciation others. So let's see, what do we actually do with bioinformatics. The bioinformatics, it finds its applications, or there are several assignments or the several tasks which are done using bioinformatic tools. We have the genome sequencing. It's only due to the bioinformatics that the sequencing of the genome has been made possible. Then genome annotation. We annotate the genome by using various bioinformatic tools. Then molecular evolution, as we have already learned, or we have already mentioned in this presentation, that the bioinformatic tools, they can be used for the molecular evolution, or for which is known as evolutionary descent. We can also use this bioinformatics for analysis of gene expression, the gene regulation. It can be also studied by using bioinformatics tools. One of the most important and the most striking feature or the application of bioinformatics is protein docking. Using bioinformatics, we can also we see the interaction between the two proteins. We see the information. We see the relation or the interaction between the two proteins. At the same time, we can also see the relation or the interaction between a drug and the protein. That the fields they require a computer for analysis. Then genomics. Like we have DNA, the study of the genome, it's known as the study of genome using computational tools is known as genomics. The genome, as we know, that it is the complete set of the genetic material or DNA present in an organism. This genomics, under this genomics, or in genomics, we study all genes and their interrelationships in an organism, so as to identify their combined influence on its growth and development. This field of genomics, it attracted worldwide attention in the late 1990s with the race to map the human genome. The Human Genome Project, completed in April 2003, made available for the first time the complete genetic blueprint of a human. Now, let's see what are the applications of the bioinformatics. This bioinformatics, the molecular study of the genes which are associated with different diseases, means the genes which are related with the different types of diseases, means some of the genes, they become defective when they are mutated, or some of the genes, they form the misfolded proteins. So, to study those genes by using bioinformatics or by using the computational tools, study of those genes associated with different diseases, understanding the molecular basis of these diseases more clearly. So, this based on the knowledge of the relation between the genes and the diseases, it will certainly enable better treatments, cures, and even preventive tests to be developed. Then personalized medicine using bioinformatics or the computational tools. we can develop a field of pharmacogenomics, which involves the study of how an individual's genetic inheritance affects the body's response to drugs. So in future, the doctors, they will be able to analyze a patient's genetic profile and prescribe the best available drug therapy and dosage from the beginning. Then the bioinformatics, it also finds its application in preventive medicine, as nowadays we have specific details of the genetic mechanisms of the diseases available. The development of diagnostic tests to measure a person's susceptibility to different diseases may become distinct reality. Another application is gene therapy. So, with the use of bioinformatics tool, the potential for using genes themselves to treat disease may become a reality. Then, bioinformatics, it's also used in drug development with an improved understanding of disease mechanisms and using computational tools to identify and validate new drug targets. As we have already discussed about protein docking, one of the application of the bioinformatics, in which we see the interaction between two proteins, or we can also see the interaction between a drug molecule and the protein, or the drug molecule and its target. So based on that information, whether a drug will interact to its target or not, these will be highly specific drugs, or they will be more effective drugs, and these highly specific drugs promise to have fewer side effects than many of today's medicines. Then bioinformatics, it's also having application in microbial genomes. For example, in 1994, U.S. Department of Energy initiated the MGP Microbial Genome Project to sequence genomes of bacteria useful in energy production, environmental cleanup, industrial processing, and toxic waste reduction. So, by studying the genetic material of these organisms, it will be possible for scientists to begin to understand these microbes at a very fundamental level and isolate the genes that give them their unique abilities to survive under extreme conditions. Further, climate change studies, it is also one of the application of the bioinformatics. Recently, Department of Energy, United States of America, they have launched a program to decrease atmospheric carbon dioxide levels. And what they have done, they have adopted a method of doing so by studying the genomes of microbes that use carbon dioxide as their sole carbon source. Then we have antibiotic resistance as another application of the bioinformatics. For example, the scientists, they have been examining the genome of Enterococcus faecalis, which is a leading cause of bacterial infection among hospital patients. They have discovered in this bacteria, then there is a presence of a virulence region, which is made up of a number of antibiotic resistant genes that may contribute to the bacterium's transformation from a harmless gut bacteria to a menacing invader. So, using bioinformatics, the discovery of the region known as a pathogenicity island, it could provide useful markers for detecting pathogenic strains, and it will help to establish controls to prevent the spread of infection in wards. Further, forensic analysis of microbes, it is one of the important application of the bioinformatics, and by using bioinformatics, the scientists, they have used used their genomic tools to help distinguish between the strains of Bacillus anthracis, which were used in the summer of 2001 terrorist attack in Florida, with that of closely related anthrax strain. The bioinformatics, it may also prove helpful in unraveling the bioweapon creation, For example, scientists they have been successfully built a virus, poliomyelitis virus, using genomic data available on the internet, and this virus has been artificially made by using the genomic data which was available on the internet and materials from a mail order chemical supply. This research it was financed by the U.S. Department of Defense as part of a warfare response program to prove to the world the reality of bioweapons. From the study, the researchers they also have a hope that their work will discourage officials from ever relaxing programs of immunization. This bioinformatics it can be also used for evolutionary studies, for studying the evolutionary descent or the evolutionary pathways. For example, the sequencing of genomes from all three domains of life, which is eukaryota, bacteria, and archaea, means that evolutionary studies can be performed in a quest to determine the tree of life and the last universal common ancestor. Crop improvement it is also an application of the bioinformatics. Means the bioinformatic tools may also be used for crop improvement. For example, comparative genetics of the plant genomes has shown that the organization of their genes has remained more conserved over evolutionary time than was previously believed. These findings they suggest that information obtained from the model crop systems can be used to suggest improvements to other food crops. For example, at present, the complete genomes of Arabidopsis thaliana and Oryza sativa are available. Insect resistance also it is one of the application of the bioinformatics to improve or to study the insect resistance. For example, genes from Bacillus thuringiensis that can control a number of serious pests have been successfully transferred to cotton, maize, and potatoes. This new ability of the plants to resist insect attack means that the amount of insecticides being used can be reduced and hence the nutritional quality of the crops increase. Improvement of nutritional quality. Scientists have recently they have successfully transferred genes into rice to increase the levels of vitamin A, iron, and other micronutrients. This work could have a profound impact in reducing occurrences of blindness and anemia caused by deficiencies in vitamin A and iron, respectively. What scientists have done, they have inserted a gene from yeast into the tomato, and the result is a plant whose fruit stays longer on the vine and has extended shelf life time, which has been achieved by antisense mRNA technology. Development of drug resistance varieties. Progress has been made in developing cereal varieties that have a greater tolerance for soil alkalinity, free aluminum and iron toxicities. These varieties will allow agriculture to succeed in poorer soil areas, thus adding more land to the global production base. There is also research going on to produce crop varieties capable of tolerating reduced water conditions. There is also application in veterinary science. For example, sequencing projects of many farm animals, including cows, pigs, and sheep, are now well underway in the hope that a better understanding of the biology of these organisms will have huge impacts for improving the production and health of livestock and ultimately have benefits for human nutrition. The bioinformatics can be also used for comparative studies. For example, analyzing and comparing the genetic material of different species is an important method for studying the functions of genes, the mechanisms of inherited disease, and species evolution. Bioinformatics tools can be used to make comparisons between the numbers, locations, and biochemical functions of genes in different